Good morning, everyone, and welcome to episode 13 of Kayfabe Coffee, the show that keeps it real while we pretend it's real. Good morning, everyone. I'm your host, Mr. OTM Kyle Gagliardi, the barista of broken kayfabe, if you will, pouring out hot takes stronger than a Starbucks shaken espresso. Welcome to Kayfabe Coffee here on the Main Event Wrestling Network, and it is Thursday morning. So you know I am not alone. I got my pal JPJ in the building to talk some Dynamite. What's going on, my friend? Good morning.
Good morning. Nothing, man. We're good. I'm ready to chat some AE Yeah, I'm excited. I've already had my first coffee of the day,
And it looks like Tito's following suit too. Look at that.
Yep, and we are ready to go. I am not I am in the New England area. I am in the Massachusetts area, so I feel like a lot of us are born and Dunkin' is a part of your blood. I like good coffee, so it's not. For me,
Dunkin's the worst. I'm sorry.
With that being said, I go to Dunkin'. I am not anti-Dunkin'.
Same.
It's convenient for when it's convenient. They do have some good products, and they just released a line of banana coffee drinks, and I am a slut for some banana.
Me too.
That could be taken in a bunch of different ways. But as far as coffee goes, I think banana is like an underrated flavor that matches with coffee. It took me a while because I first heard it years and years ago, and I was like, get the hell out of here. But banana and coffee is delicious, and Dunkin' released today. Like today is the
I didn't know that was today.
Of a bunch of different banana drinks, so I made sure that I have a Dunkin' literally a minute down the road here. And so I went and I got myself a banana latte, and it was actually pretty good.
I was gonna say we need an official review here, so it's worth getting. Then you're saying,
if you like banana,
I love banana.
Listen, if you're looking for top quality espresso, I don't think it's gonna fill your cup there. No pun intended. But if you like banana, I think it's worth it. It has like a nice little banana cold foam on the top of it, and it's nice.
You're speaking my language here because there's this place called Fluid in the area. And they have the ice drink called the Doncaster, and it has banana flavoring in it. And it was their most ordered item on the menu, and I was obviously new to the banana flavoring, and I love bananas. So I said, hey, this had to be good, right? And surprisingly, you're right. Banana flavored coffee actually works.
100%. Yeah, we have a bunch of places like that. Like we have a chain called Perfectos around here that's just they make lattes and stuff, but they're iced coffees, but they're flavored iced coffees. So you go in there and they have a board that they update every day with all the different flavors of iced coffee they have. And
does that mean like in the winter time they have like all the special, Christmassy flavors?
Oh yeah, they'll have gingerbread, and they'll do maple spice and all that stuff. But they have their standard flavors, like peanut butter Oreo is a favorite, delicious. But they always have a banana flavor. Every day they have a different. It's called the banana flavor of the day, and you have to ask them hey, what's the banana flavor of the day, and they'll tell you, and
That's what I'm talking about. See, you guys get all the good stuff over there. You got the good food, you got the good coffee. Like you said, I have like a Dunkin' at every corner, which we also have a Starbucks, it seems like, at every corner. Yeah. But thankfully, they're starting to have more mom and pop shops, more coffee shops around here, which are always the better ones, right? Like, they care more. It's going to take more time, but it's a better feel when you walk into that place.
Yeah, and listen, you go to a Starbucks, you go to a Dunkin' Donuts, it's going to get you what you need. You need your caffeine, you're going to get your caffeine. If you like their drinks, more power to you. But the machines they use are powered to get people in and out of the door in 2 minutes. You're not is it espresso? Yes. Is it caffeinated? Yes. But you're not getting top quality espresso from those places because those machines are not there to produce top quality espresso. They are there to produce volume. Get in and get out. We want to have fucking 4,000 people in here today.
All the Karens that you got to feed.
You have a machine that takes 6 minutes to get you a good shot of it. You can't do it.
So what we're saying is that the WWE is essentially the Dunkin' and the Starbucks.
Dunkin', yes.
And then AEW.
AEW is the nice little corner shop that you're going to have a nice conversation while you're waiting for your espresso, and you're going to have a nice homemade almond croissant. There's going to be things you get there that you can't get anywhere else.
I don't think I've ever had an almond croissant in my life.
Are you allergic?
Croissants really aren't a big thing in the Midwest. Or at least not where I grew
up. No wonder you're all miserable people.
I thought the same thing when I went to the East Coast for the first time.
You become the new. No, we're not miserable people. We are to the point. Get the fuck out of our way. Don't waste our time. But we are a very happy, helpful people.
I noticed
that gets misconstrued. You come here, you'll meet some of the nicest people you've ever met in your life.
But now, you guys shoot it straight. That's what I respect.
We shoot it straight. If you were driving in Massachusetts and you got your flat tire and you needed help, somebody would pull over and help you. Now, they'd be making fun of you and talking shit to you the whole time they were helping you, but they're not leaving until they know you're okay.
That's my kind of people. You know, that's my friendships, at least. We rip on each other. We make fun of each other, but at the end of the day, we love each other. 100%. That's how we roll over here at the network, too. So if you're about those vibes and you love what we're doing, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, guys. We are on the road to 300 subscribers. We also have some more content coming this weekend, this Saturday, actually, before Vengeance Day. It'll be myself, Jay Gold, Tim Vicious, and your friend, Pluggo. Pluggo's coming by for the mixer. We're going to be talking some Vengeance Day. Have you kept up with NXT this week? I thought it was a pretty good show.
I have. I thought NXT was the best WWE show of the week so far, for sure.
I think it usually is. I might be biased saying that.
I know we're talking AEW. I thought Raw was a big bounce back this week.
Yes, agreed.
Last week's Raw was one of the worst of all time, and Elimination Chamber I did not like at all.
It was okay.
It was fine at best, I think. I thought Raw was a bounce back.
It was better than the Chamber.
100%. So I thought Raw was a bounce back. There are some directions that I think they could be switching up and going that will pique my interest. Because right now, we're 7 weeks from Mania, and I can't remember being less interested in a build to Mania than I currently am. It's bad. It's bad. But
I
again,
would agree with you until this week.
Yeah,
I feel like it started to finally pick up this week.
I've always been in on the Punk Roman stuff. If you're telling me there's a chance we're going to get Cody and Randy, if Oba's going to be answering and beating Brock, hopefully, if Braun can get healthy and we get Seth and Braun, you can pique my interest and kind of win my interest back here. And I think Monday was a decent start to that. So, but NXT was great on Tuesday. I loved NXT.
The good thing about NXT is it's one of those shows you can never set your phone down because you'll miss something. They always are cramming as much as possible into every episode. Similar to AEW Dynamite. That's what I like about Dynamite is there's always something interesting happening. So we might as well talk about it.
It doesn't feel like there is wasted time.
Yeah,
I feel like we've kind of gotten on Raw and on the PLEs and even on SmackDown. I think we've gotten to this point where there's a lot of fluffer. There's a lot of 5-minute video package. We have an ad read. They're even doing ad reads during the fucking
commercials
of the matches now. Michael Cole's reading ads in the middle of a match when he's calling it. Like, fuck off with that.
That RKO is brought to you by Liberty Insurance.
It's just like, come on, dude. But I feel like we've just gotten used to, this match is happening. After this match, it's going to be 10 minutes before something else important happens. Whereas AEW and NXT, they kind of operate that every second of the show. It might not matter, top thing matter, but something's important.
You might miss a little nugget. You might miss a little thing that advances a storyline because they use those backstage segments 100%. To enhance a lot.
And oddly enough, I kind of like the NXT transition periods when you see they're getting new people on the I understand they lost Trick, they lost Javon, they lost Oba, and they lost others and stuff, and they're gonna lose more. JC Jane's coming up soon, 100%. Sol Ruka's coming up soon. They're gonna lose. Zarya. Yeah, exactly. They're gonna lose others too, but I am Blake Monroe, Mariah, she's coming up at some point. They're all Jada Parker. These people are all coming up soon, right? But I kind of like the transition period when you kind of see, and not all of them hit, but you kind of see ooh. This
it's fun to watch them grow.
Yeah, the Vanity Project, those guys are can't miss dudes to me. And
right away too.
Yeah, and it's all right, well, they're here now, they're part of this now, let's go. I kind of like the transition periods when you can see not only are they trying to figure out who their next batch of stars down there are going to be, but you also see the performers kind of figuring out who they're going to be as a character. And
100%.
I like that. I like that.
No, it's funny you mentioned that because we had a similar conversation on the night shift this week. That's why we enjoy NXT is that these guys can mess up. These guys and girls can mess up, and we take it with a grain of salt. It's a learning period. It's an adjustment time in NXT. But sometimes the struggle and the growth and seeing them kind of evolve is the fun part. And that's what we're experiencing right now in NXT is because there's so many new faces. There's a lot of them coming from the NIL program. So they're basically molding them from scratch. Look at Shiloh Hill, for example. That's a guy that they pulled him out of nowhere. He showed up on LFG. He made a splash on LFG. They put him on TV right away. And now he's kind of a fixture weekly. And once again, I know we're here to talk Dynamite, but these are the facts.
Yeah, they are. So I think they're kind of in a good groove where, they kind of know what they're doing down there. And then you transfer it over to AEW when we talk about how their show is run. Yeah, everything that happens on Dynamite every week has significance to it. Everything.
100%. And last night was perfect example of that too. I thought they were still able to accomplish a lot on Dynamite going into 100%. Revolution. I don't know if Tatum's coming up soon, Eric, because to me personally, I think Tatum Paxley wins that title on Saturday, but I could be wrong. I've been wrong before with Tatum Paxley. I didn't expect her to be NXT champ.
Yeah, no, that was a nice little surprise when she didn't hold it long, but it was nice. And I'll tell you what, Jason Tatum is coming up soon.
Oh yeah,
and he's going to lead my Celtics to the NBA championship. But anyway,
I don't watch the NBA. I'm a Bulls fan, so we know how February went.
Yeah, that's tough. But Jason Tatum blew out his Achilles. I'm going to miss all year. Everyone's like, oh, down year for the Celtics. We're like the 2 seed in the East because Jaylen Brown's a beast too.
Oh,
and now Tatum's going to come back, and it's like, yeah, you understand. Like, there's nobody in the East that's going to beat us if Tatum is even 75% of what he is.
Yeah, Eric, he is coming back soon. You heard it here from JPJ, so look out.
Yeah. Maybe even tomorrow night.
I'll tell you what, it was pretty funny. People were confused. At least I watched the Elimination Chamber with a couple of my friends that are casuals, and they saw that Giannis was at the Elimination Chamber, and they're like, wait, are the Bulls actually going to trade for Giannis? I go, guys, they're probably playing there next day. Yeah. The Bucks were playing at the United Center the next day. So.
I saw him behind them, and I was like, because they didn't show him until they kind of really announced him. Yeah. And I was like, I'm pretty sure that's Giannis behind Cole.
In Chicago.
I'm like, in Chicago, I hope the crowd boos him, as they should, because he's an opponent.
Yeah, he's supposed to be their rival, but there's no rivals when you're the Chicago Bulls.
Chicago, anytime they gave us Vucevic for nothing. So anytime they get good players, it feels like they're like, yeah, we're just going to give these guys away and just continue to suck, which really doesn't make sense to me because I'm a 90s kid. Like, the Bulls were the only team that mattered in the league for the duration of the night. And I get it. It was Michael Jordan. I understand that. But I feel like the league is better when the Chicago Bulls are relevant. I don't
They're
understand.
Always top 5 in attendance. So I totally agree with you. Like it's a big brand.
Yeah, it's a big brand. You're one of the core franchises in the history of the league, and you're Chicago, for crying out loud. Any sports league is better when Chicago. It's a big city. It's a big market. Yeah. It's a big city. It's passionate fans. Yeah, man. Like, the Bears are finally getting good again, so that's good. I hate that. I know, but that's good for Chicago. The Cubs look like they're going to have a good year, so that's good. The White Sox are fucking trash.
They'll be better, though. They're starting to make the steps in the rebuild, I think.
Well, we gave you half our farm system, so when you start getting good again, you can thank the Boston Red Sox because we literally gave you half our farm system. So.
You definitely did. That is for sure. But, hey, we can talk baseball, we can talk coffee, but we're here to talk wrestling, too. Eric said, how many did he win without Rodman and Pippen? 0, right?
It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
How many did Pippen win without him? 0.
How many finals have LeBron lost? Jordan doesn't lose in the finals.
Correct. Yes, he needed Pippen. First of all, he won 3 without Rodman. Rodman wasn't there until the final 3.
That's right.
But yeah. Listen, I can talk ball, bro. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm the most knowledgeable ball person, but I can talk hockey is about the only sport I can't go into detail with. You want to talk tennis? I'll talk tennis for a fucking half hour.
Oh, I can talk pickleball with you.
Yeah, don't come at me. Don't come at me with facts. I will shut you down.
2 guys that know ball right here. I went to school at IU, and I studied sports broadcasting and sports management. So I know a few things about ball.
Yeah, sports broadcasting, radio and television. That's what I went to school for.
Oh, I didn't know you did, too.
I'm in a region What do you think I was? I mean, I am naturally great at this.
You
but
are
do you think I'm
naturally
just this
great.
naturally great out the chute?
There are some people like that, yeah.
I am one of them. I went to do like and we got to talk obviously about AEW, but like I went to do a audition to get into the school
Yeah.
and they had us sit behind a news desk and read the teleprompter. And when I started reading the teleprompter, I saw the two guys running it immediately look at each other.
They're like,
And I
this
was
guy.
like, thank you.
Dude,
So.
that is a tough gig. I've had some on-camera work, and I can show you after the show as well, because I still have the film on YouTube. Because Mark Cuban donated a lot of money to our media school. Reading off a teleprompter in a timely manner is one of the hardest things to do. I'm not bullshitting.
Yeah, it's very tough.
Keeping up while on camera and having the cadence and everything, I'll tell you what. But Eric's right. Kevin Knight is going to be a star very soon. So let's jump into Dynamite, because that was the very first match. We kicked off with that AEW World Heavyweight Championship match, and that's what I love about AEW is they're not scared to throw a major title match on a show, let alone kick off. And granted, JPJ, I think we all could assume that Kevin Knight was not winning this match going into it, but it still served a purpose because we come out of this looking at Kevin Knight in a different light, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, this exactly served its purpose. I don't think anybody thought Kevin Knight was going to take the title off of MJF, but that's not what this match was for. This match was to further cement that Kevin Knight is going to be a future world champion for this company.
You said that last night in the Discord.
Yeah, a future multi-time world champion for this company. I know we're talking about he already is a star. Clearly already is a star. But this guy is going to be a top of the company future world champion for this company. And I thought that this was perfect. And I thought it was, again, it's good for Kevin Knight. He's in there. He's scrapping it up with MJF. He's having a world title match. He's making it believable that he could have won that match a few times last night. And then it's also reminding you, like MJF often does, that inside that squared circle, he's one of the best in the world. He talks a big game, and sometimes he talks too much.
Right.
But he always backs it up in the ring because he can go with anybody. He can go with a guy like Brody King. He can go with a high flyer like Kevin Knight. You can put him with anybody, and he's going to deliver because he says a generational talent. I know that's part of the shtick. He's 1,000% correct.
I was going to say, when does he ever tell a lie? I know we might hate him. I know he's the devil, but it's true. Like I said it on OTM a couple weeks ago. I genuinely think when it's all said and done, we are going to be talking about MJF as one of the greatest superstars of all time.
I agree.
He's got so much time ahead of him, dude.
Yeah, and he's still super young. He's 26, 27. Like he's not even 30 yet. Not even close to 30. If he wants to do this for 20 more years, he can, and he will always be near the top. He is pound per pound 5 tool. When you talk about everything, he is the best wrestler in the world. Period. He has the total package. The
only thing I worry about, JPJ, is the promos are going to have to kind of shift because he does repeat himself a lot. Let's be real in his promos. Yeah,
for sure.
But if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
No, yeah. So he has to adapt. I do think the promos can get to be a little one note, especially if there's a long build to a match. It's like you only can cut that same promo so often.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like he has enough wit and enough, he's a drama kid too. So like he has enough, he's
got the chops.
He has what it takes to switch it up a smidge to make it interesting, even though he's saying the same thing for weeks on end,
True that. No, that's well said. I'm not tired of MJF yet. Are you?
No, not even close, man.
Not even.
I mean, he might be losing the title in a week, but
sorry, we could have a debate. We could have a debate on that. I don't really know.
Yeah, I potentially might not be able to be here next week because of work, because of the shoot job. So, but like,
is that why you're not joining us for a mixer?
Potentially, I got to see how the week works out. But again, we talked about it a little bit last week. And we're going to talk more about Hangman as this show goes on. He can't not ever be world. Like you can't.
That's why I hate that using that stipulation again. Because like we talked about it, I think before with the Cody situation, he never recovered from that. No. And that's what I worry about with Hangman Page. If he loses, I know there's loopholes. They can get around it.
I think it's even more crucial for the character of Hangman than it was for Cody, because Hangman is the main cat. Like, he is
The baby
guy.
face.
He's the main baby face. He's the center of the story. He is the main character. And I'm sorry if you're going to sit here and tell me that the main character is going to be with your company for the rest of his career, which could be 10 plus years, but he's never going to be at the top of your company. That is malpractice. You can't do that.
Talk about booking yourself into a corner. That's going to be tough.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to go about doing that, but
I don't know.
I'm sure they'll figure it out because, man, that Revolution card, other than
unbelievable.
and this is not shade once again, other than the women's match, I'm not too excited for that one. I think every single match on that card is essentially a dream match that they are setting up for Revolution. Like, Moxley and Takeshita is going to be amazing. We now know Mystico is going to take the spot for Hangman in that trios match. That world title match, so much history. Like, there's not going to be a bad match on that card.
No. And then they just added in Bandito and Andrade.
Yeah, we talked about that last week. Like, that
They
being a possibility.
added in Swerve and Brody.
Brody, which we will talk about. Yeah, there's just so much to look forward to.
It's just going to be incredible. Well, this was the shock of the night here. I did not see this one coming.
I was going to say, dude, because it seems like AEW is just creating moments now. Like 2026, every single week there is a headline coming out of AEW. And this is one of them. Now, the tag match between Darby and Orange Cassidy with the War Dogs, it was fine. It wasn't the greatest by any means, but what's coming out of it afterwards is David Finlay's debut. Now, this is a guy that there was speculation that he could potentially go to NXT, and that would have made sense. I think there was reports out there that the WWE actually offered him an NXT contract, but similar to Josh Alexander, it seems like he's betting on himself, and he wants to be on TV right away because he's officially all elite. He's with his other War Dogs here, Connors and Gabe Kidd, now from New Japan, coming on over to AEW. So, like you said, JPJ, this is kind of a shocker here that many people didn't see coming. So how do you feel about David Finlay coming on over to AEW?
Yeah, I feel good about it. I think he was going to be a star no matter kind of where he went. I just assumed, like many others, but I just thought he was going over to WWE. I thought he was going to go over there with the fam, his brother's down there.
Thought he was going to the Birthright.
Yeah, exactly. His father obviously worked over there for a long time, still is kind of involved in the back. His brother is on NXT television. I thought that's where he was just going to go. But I think that this works. I mean, it's something he's very familiar with. They're just calling them the Dogs now, not the War Dogs, but it's basically the War Dogs over here on AEW television. I think a new stable is fresh for AEW. I think, especially when we see what we saw at the end of the show last night with a certain set of titles changing hands, and maybe this is another trio that I think should be going for those almost immediately.
Should be.
Yeah, I mean, he looked the part. He walked in, he looked great. He had the shillelagh. So they still are going back to his Irish roots and stuff like that. He's immediately going to be the leader of this group.
100%.
He can talk, he can go, he looks the part. He's going to do really well. He's going to be an important figure going forward in AEW. I know what it's like to, you should never assume, but I thought he was going to WWE. I was pretty confident in that. So this was a pleasant surprise, but yeah, I liked it.
No, I'm with you totally with that because me and Jay Gold were talking about it. I thought he would be a perfect fit for the Birthright because Uriah Connors is in the Birthright with Lexis King, Stax, and Ariana Grace. So storyline-wise, it made sense because in NXT, they've been recruiting this, second-generation superstar. Turns out that's probably just going to be Charlie Dempsey over in NXT now. But going back to David Finlay and the War Dogs over here, I'm not that familiar with their work. Obviously, I know of them. If you're a fan of professional wrestling, you definitely have heard these names. So it's kind of a wait and see for me personally. I only say that, too, because, and once again, injuries had a lot to do with this. But the Bang Bang Gang, there was a lot of excitement going into Jay White coming over, and he really hasn't recovered since then. And once again, Juice had injuries, I think, too, and there was a lot of things that derailed that. So hopefully this group could stay healthy and stay together. Like you said, I think that is a team right away you put into the Trios division because the Trios division is now starting to heat up once again, I believe.
Yeah, and then eventually you would hope that Jay White can get healthy and come back. And then if like right there, if you're doing a dogs versus Bullet Club,
That's good.
you can do that. The dogs can, I know they're kind of like buddy. They've been told through commentary and through Moxley that they're buddy with the Death Riders, but that's always something you can lean into where they all of a sudden are not friends, like not acquaintances anymore. And you get a nice little 3-on-3, or if they add a fourth guy down the line, you can get a 4-on-4 Death Riders versus dogs type thing. Like there's plenty of stuff to do with the dogs. And look at this is a big get by them. I'm sure they offered him a substantial contract to get him to not go to WWE when everybody, including the biggest people that report in this business, we were all kind of like, yeah, we think he's going to WWE.
Well, I mean, the logic was there, right?
Yeah, so he didn't. That's a huge get, and he has the potential to be a big time star in North America. He really does.
And this is no shade at Uriah Connors too, but if you're like comparing the brothers visually, David Finlay looks like the megastar.
Yeah, it's not even close. Now, would I have liked maybe? I thought they could have done something cool if he went to WWE with like Finlay is kind of like the manager or like the guy, like kind of how like Dusty did with Cody and Golda. Like you could do that, and then you could have Finlay kind of being the like. Finley's the mentor to David Finlay, and then David Finlay's the mentor to Uriah, and you could have just done like a cool
family tree
family thing there, especially in NXT.
Still could happen in the future, that's the great thing about professional wrestling.
Exactly. Yeah, this isn't it's not like he signed a fucking 30-year deal. Like, it is what it is. But I thought that was something cool they could have done, but they clearly were like, no. And listen, there have been New Japan guys that have gone to WWE and been very successful. I do feel like the New Japan style of wrestling works better when it's matched with AEW. So I think Finlay going to AEW is probably better for him personally.
It's an easier transition.
I think so. But
because
either way,
you're right. The WWE style is completely different than everybody else, especially the camera work and all that. Completely more complex in the WWE, and you have to, pick up on those things. And that's why a lot of people go to NXT. And that's why when people were getting mad that Mariah May jumped to NXT first, I'm like, guys, this is just how things go. This is the WWE formula. They're going to bring you up through NXT, make a name out of you in WWE, and then bring you up to the main roster.
Yeah, look, at Black and Gold was a completely different thing because they were their own brand. But like, are you telling me that Finn Balor wasn't ready to go to the main roster upon arrival?
Right. Or
Shinsuke Nakamura, Samoa Joe,
Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn.
Yeah, Kevin Owens, Sami. These guys weren't ready to walk into Raw or SmackDown upon arrival. And of course
they'd walk into AEW if AEW was around during that time.
Yeah, of course they were. But learning entrances and where to look at the cameras and where to do this and hard cams over here, and when you do this move you want to do it so you're over here so the camera can, that is not pro, that is the other side of pro wrestling.
That's the side that nobody thinks about.
Yeah, and when you're in Ring of Honor in the 2000s or New Japan, like, yes, they do television, but they do it a lot. It's not as grandiose and production so that's they go down there to learn that shit, and then they go, all right, Jordan Grace didn't need to go to NXT.
No.
But she went down there to figure it out for a few months, and guess what? Now she's on SmackDown, and she's doing fine.
Yeah, it's not a demotion to start in NXT. It's just the way that the WWE system works. Speaking of WWE, these two were in the WWE here as the Brawling Birds defeated the Inspiration, who made their AEW debut in a squash match, essentially. Let's call it what it is. And now this is the thing that me and you differed on last night, because I spoke my frustrations on how they handled the Inspiration in this spot. So let me just lay this out for you real quick. I know the Inspiration's not supposed to be taken seriously. They essentially are a comedy act. That's how they got over in the WWE as the Iconics. They were hilarious. They were entertaining. And that's why I really don't even understand why they signed with AEW, because to me, they don't fit the AEW mold. I know the money's the biggest motivator here. But in the WWE, these women, sure, were once again a comedy act, but credible. They're a credible tag team. I believe multiple-time champions, correct, in the WWE?
Yep.
You have them lose in a squash match to the Birds? And that's not taking anything away from the Birds, because me and you talked about it last week, how much I love the Brawling Birds and their chemistry. and they are building them up. I just think in a company that does a lot of, what do they call those matches? The eliminator matches?
Yeah.
To where the challenger is putting up a competitive fight but doesn't win most of the time. Why couldn't the Inspiration have a competitive fight here? Is my only question to you.
And I think it's a valid question. I do a post show on Body Slam right after Dynamite, and my co-host on that show had a very similar. He was also frustrated about
this. It's like
this.
50-50 on this I've seen online.
Yeah, and he was also frustrated on this. I understand, and I think they are valid complaints, concerns, whatever. I just think in the long run, this isn't going to matter.
You're probably right.
They did the promo beforehand when they said, "Oh, you don't have the balls to face us, Brawling Birds."
That's what pissed me off.
And they showed off their comedic and like you said, this is not a slight to their wrestling ability. They have been champions in TNA. They've been champions in WWE. They are a credible tag team. And guess what, guys? They're still going to be credible in AEW. They still are. I promise.
You're right.
But they're there for their comedy. That is why they are there. That is what has. They are good wrestlers. They are good to have in your company. I like them a lot. I think it's a great signing. But I also think that the trajectory of the Brawling Birds that we've seen is they are fucking destroying people. That is what they're doing. They're having 2-minute matches with everybody right now. And I understand the Inspiration comes with the legacy. I get that. But they even did the thing where they had the entrance and then the music stopped and they were yelling, "Hey, no, we weren't done. Put the music back on." So they were even doing the comedy thing in there at that time to the point where the Birds were like, "Fuck this.
Fuck you." Yeah.
We're going in there and ending this shit.
Yeah.
I just didn't think it was as egregious as some. I think the concerns and the complaints are completely valid. I just don't think it's as they're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. I think that was the first little taste. They debuted in Australia, not on TV. I have more of a problem with that than I actually do about the actual debut last night.
Agreed.
You should debut them on television.
Agreed. They're big enough names to be on television.
Yeah, and that match was a competitive match at that house show. That was a regular competitive match. They're going to be fine. I just think right now they're not in the women's tag title picture upon arrival, and the Brawling Birds might be the next champions.
That's my only thing. It's like you better strap up the Birds then, is what I'm saying.
I think that's where
and
they're
the Inspiration should not sniff the tag titles for a while then. If you're gonna have that like squash match on TV, I don't want to see Cassie and Billy anywhere near the titles anytime soon.
And that's fine. And they can now they have something to base their future character. They can now next week when we see them, they can be like, "Hey, we weren't ready for that match to start. We were still and it just leads into more of their shtick.
Yeah.
And then they'll start having matches and win it, and like it's gonna be fun. Like, am I gonna sit here and say I think they're gonna be women's tag champ? I mean, I would think at some point, but like
at some point.
I just don't think right now, upon them walking into the company, they needed to have a 15-minute barn burner with the Brawling Birds. I just don't think they needed to.
And that's not what I'm asking for. I don't need a crazy back and forth.
Yeah. But I just don't think it's going to hurt them at all, really.
I think all those things can all be true. Because you're right. I don't think the Inspiration is going to be hurt by it. But in this week, I think it hurts them this week. But once again, in professional wrestling, after 48 hours, it really doesn't matter because we're talking and thinking about other things going on in the world. So like you said, at the end of the day, the Inspiration is probably going to be okay.
They can have a match against enhancement talent on Collision and beat them in 2 minutes and then cut a funny promo and do that stuff. And then we're not thinking about this in a few weeks, and it's fine.
I'll probably forget about it next week.
Yeah, and then the Brawling Birds are tag team champions. Win. Let's say they're tag team champions by double or like by Dynasty. Okay? So, or even if at Revolution, whatever.
I was going to say, maybe they strap them at Revolution.
Yeah,
now.
so let's just say they're tag team champions a month from now or 6 weeks from now. Then you have the Inspiration saying, "Hey,
way back.
You blindsided us and beat us and ruined our debut. So guess what? We're coming for your titles." And then you get they'll probably still lose it, but then you get a proper match where they actually have a match with the Birds. And I just think it's gonna. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you totally sold me. If they do go that direction, then I'm totally okay with it. They could.
I think that AEW knows what they got when they signed the Inspiration.
I hope so, because I know some AEW fans are not fans of them just because of
and that's
the
fine.
comedy.
But again, you are allowed to like what you like, and you're allowed to not like what you don't like. But if you don't like comedy wrestling, I don't know what to tell you.
We could have a Danhausen conversation.
I don't
for an
know what
hour.
to tell you. And like, I actually thought that Danhausen's debut was fine. I liked it, but I know and like the character Danhausen. But you saw on Monday night exactly why they fucking signed that guy. Dude, that is exactly why they. And his merch is already selling off the charts. Like, anybody that, again, did they put him in the best situation for the debut? Probably not, but I still thought it was hokey and fun. I still liked it.
Fits him,
I think the problem was more than half the people in the arena had no idea who the hell the guy was.
It's all the casuals that have the money to afford to go to these PLEs.
Because guess what? The
real fans aren't there anymore.
know they can't afford to go to the fucking shows anymore.
I was an example of that. Like I said, a decade I have been going to every WWE show that goes to Chicago on television. This was the first time since 2014 I didn't buy a ticket, because on show day, the day of, when tickets usually drop, the cheapest ticket to get into the United Center, a 20,000 seat venue, by the way, way up in the nosebleeds, $300 for 4 matches. 4 matches.
And no women's matches. 4 matches. Again, Raw was pretty decent this week. I thought it was a good bounce back show, but there were 4 matches.
Oh, I was talking about the elimination.
Oh, yeah, the elimination. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, 4 matches. And again, I fine at best, I would put that.
I would. Could you imagine me spending that $300 for nosebleeds? I would be like, that was a waste of money.
Yeah, 100%. Like, and again, I'm just, it is what it is. But like, comedy wrestling has always had its part. We wouldn't have. Kurt Angle was one of the best in-ring wrestlers of all time, but Kurt Angle is not the level he is without comedy. He's not.
Absolutely.
The comedy added to him being one of the greats of all time, because he could do that and then be one of the greats of all time in the ring. Jericho, his comedy throughout it. MJF, the comedy that he uses sometimes.
With Adam Cole? Remember those days?
Like,
yeah.
Comedy has always been a part of wrestling. It doesn't have to be your favorite thing, but the people that like automatically dismiss it or like don't so what, you never laughed at Santino Marella ever?
I just hate the internet because
has never made your show more enjoyable ever.
Right?
Ever?
People think just because they voice their opinion, it is right and it is the gospel. That is not true. Opinions are opinions.
Yeah, and that's the worst thing that really social media has. You can make an argument has ruined the world, but like the worst part about it is it made it made everybody think their opinion is important.
And people misconstrue things too, because I made a comment when Danhausen debuted saying, Danhausen was never for me, but I'm willing to see this WWE run out. And they're like, oh, fuck you, what a terrible take. I'm like, I just said I'm willing to see the WWE and how they handle him. And look at what happened on Monday, like you said. A fantastic segment, and I'm already in on Danhausen. It took one segment.
100%. And he, I think he should, everybody he curses should have bad things. Like, the curses should go undefeated.
But don't do it often. Don't overkill it.
No, you got to spread it out. But when he curses somebody, it needs to have effects. And then it's like, okay, because he's not, again, similar. Inspiration is more there for their rest, but like Danhausen didn't get signed to have 5-star matches. That's not why he's there.
He's barely going to wrestle. He's barely going to wrestle.
I know, but he will wrestle and he can wrestle. Like, he's going to be fine, but he wasn't signed for his wrestling ability. He was signed for what we saw on Monday.
100%.
And, I don't know. I've always been a big comedy guy. Like, again, you look at anybody. Daniel Bryan, even when he was at the top of good guy and bad guy, used comedy. Like
the nose with Big Show and Mark Henry back in the day.
He had the hemp belt, and he was like, there was a level of he was a bad guy, and it was annoying, but there was a level of comedy to it that made it. I don't understand the people that are like anti.
I don't understand a lot of people.
It's pro wrestling. What about it is fucking serious at all? Besides the fans taking it too fucking seriously all the time.
That's when I sit here sometimes and I laugh. I look at these comment sections sometimes. I'm like, why are you guys taking this so seriously? At the end of the day, this is supposed to be an escape. I do this because I love it.
Holy shit, guys. Like, we're watching it is actors and it's actors who are crazy athletic specimens performing art. Like, they're performing a play for us, and we're sitting there, and half the reason why wrestling feels like it's a weight sometimes is not because of the, like, don't get me wrong. Do some of the shows suck? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And some of the booking dog shit? Yeah. Everywhere.
And we'll tell you.
The main reason why a lot of us get frustrated with wrestling isn't usually because of the shows. It's because people are they just take it way too. The Undertaker was a zombie for 30 years, guys. 30 years. He was a dead guy who killed his parents.
Yeah.
Burned him alive.
Now he's the head of the Hall of Fame.
And now we're sitting here I can't believe this person went to shut the fuck up.
Thank you.
Like, what do we do?
That should be a t-shirt that just says STFU.
Yeah,
we'll put it on the main event website.
I don't understand, and I get frustrated too. That you're gonna hear me on here frustrated about certain things. Like we're
very honest.
It's just holy crap, man. Like it's pro wrestling. We do not need to be taking it this seriously. This was a great fucking match.
I was gonna say, I took this very seriously because every time Jon Moxley gets in the ring, you kind of have to, and every time Jon Moxley has a match on AEW Dynamite, I just think, man, I wonder if this guy's ever heard of Vacation Time. Because
he's gonna lose his belt, I think, soon. So maybe he'll go on one. But
you like this match though, right?
Oh, this is my favorite match of the night. I thought this was. Yeah. I loved Kevin Knight and MJF, and I actually the women. I liked the whole show, to be honest. But
it's a good show.
I love what they're doing with Moxley, man. I did not think that. I didn't pick him to win the Continental Classic. I thought that was kind of out of nowhere. But him being on Dynamite week after week after week, and on Collision too, but being on Dynamite weekly, having eliminator matches with different opponents, different style opponents, and just getting in there and just graps, man. He's just getting in there and he's just throwing. Yeah, they're like, listen, man, you go in there, you just have good matches. And Hechicero is incredible, like one of the best. One of the best.
I wasn't familiar with his game, to be honest with you.
If you have not seen the Ring of Honor title match that he had with Bandito last year, you need to take 30 minutes and go out of your way, because that was one of the best matches of the whole year in all of wrestling last year. Hechicero's very good. Knew he wasn't going to win this match, but I did not think I would be enjoying this title run from Moxley as much as I am, but I'm loving him just Wednesday night, either starting the show or at some point in the show, he's having a 15-minute barn burner, just having great wrestling matches. Like just physical chain wrestling, submissions. He does whatever he needs, because the opponents have all been different and different styles, which I've also enjoyed. I'm digging this. Now, again, it's coming to an end. Takeshita, I think, will end it. But
I think I would agree with you there. It's been fun seeing him face off basically against everybody in the Don Callis family, because you get a different style match that comes out of it. And I totally agree with you in terms of loving Jon Moxley, but more of just the presentation of the Death Riders now. And it was different when they were heels, because obviously you're supposed to dislike them. But now we kind of know that we are supposed to root for the Death Riders. So I think it fits their presentation even better now, especially with Marina coming out, holding John's belt. Marina Shafir looks and feels like a megastar that they just haven't pulled the trigger on yet. And I think they're smartly waiting for that moment, because at any point, they probably could just say, you know what, Marina? Let's go. Like, now's the time. You're going for the AEW women's title. And then you got the lackeys in the background, the presentation coming out of the back. Like, I think everything now is perfect for the Death Riders.
Yeah, I dig it. I thought Wheeler Yuta was good in that little vignette they showed.
He's not even bald
in the night. Yeah, I know. But I thought he was good in his
This is bald.
segment. So, yeah, I mean, I'm digging it. I didn't think that this group would last this long.
Same.
But they've made a way. They've done it in a way where they've remained relevant, and they've done a little character shift, and it's worked. And I'm really digging it. And we've talked about it on here. I think in my first appearance on here, I said I don't think anybody has gained more from the Death Riders than Marina Shafir. I think she is the one that has gained the most from this group. They have turned her from really just kind of being a nothing, like in this, not in general, but like in the stature of the company,
100%,
to like someone who could walk in and be fighting for the women's world title, like if she wants. And it's like, okay. And I think the Death Riders have really pushed her up to a different level more than anybody else in the group. I think she's easily gained the most.
And I hate comparing, and I totally agree with what you're saying. Good points there. But I hate comparing the two major companies, but there's no way WWE could do what AEW is doing with Marina Shafir, because it would never clicked in the WWE. This makes sense. This is like the real Marina Shafir that we're getting to see, which is awesome.
Yeah, and I love it. I mean,
Which
she's
is
saying
scary.
bad words, calling them pussy. Like, I was just like, oh, you're using that. Oh, spitting on the ground after she says it, like she's a savage.
This whole show is savage.
Yeah,
like we had Swerve literally choking out Brody King once again. Swerve is a bad man.
I love this.
I sent out the gift, the Stephen A. Smith one, where he used to call about Aaron Rodgers. He's a bad man. Well, I'm going to use it here for Swerve Strickland, because Swerve is a bad man, and this feud going into Revolution, JPJ, is red hot, and it doesn't even have a title on the line.
Nope. This was really good. I know he had to attack him from behind. He had to use the chain and all that stuff. But we've never really seen Brody King manhandled like that.
Not once.
So I think that this was like a kind of a, seeing him like in the rope, kind of incapacitated, with Swerve cutting that promo. And Swerve had a line in that promo where he said, it's one thing to talk about being the baddest man in this company, and it's another thing to be that guy.
That goes so hard.
And I think because of Swerve's history, he is that guy. And I just think it was just really, really good. That match is, I think it's going to be a traditional one-on-one match at Revolution next weekend, but I expect there to be some violence and some hard hitting in that match between Brody and Swerve. Sadly, I don't think my boy Brody's going to get the victory in that one, but
no.
I'm really looking forward. These are two guys that I love. And I think we're heading for Swerve and Hangman on the title. I think that's the next thing we're getting. Dynasty or Double or Nothing. I think that's the main event. And yeah, man, I'm ready for it. This is where Swerve is a great babyface. He's just a special talent. This is his wheelhouse. Being this guy, and you can tell the fans know, everybody knows it. This guy right here, this is where Swerve is at his A++.
No doubt. And this is probably the weakest we've ever seen Brody King in AEW, which is great, because it's only going to make Swerve look more like a badass and stronger, which I agree with you. I think Swerve's probably going to be the one to win, just because he's higher up on the totem pole right now. But this feud's going to do a lot for Brody King. It's really going to cement him as a single star going forward. And that's really the ultimate goal, I think, with this feud. So good stuff right there with Swerve. No problems with that whatsoever. We had another. Was this a title match actually with Thekla and?
Yes, this was a women's title match. Good match here too.
So we had 3 title matches on Dynamite, which is another thing. You get multiple title matches almost every single week on Dynamite, which is great. Still not sold on Thekla, but I do enjoy seeing Thunder Rosa back on TV, because I mention this match very often, and the people that watch my content, they probably are tired of hearing about it. But one of my favorite matches in AEW history is Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker in that Blood and Guts match.
Of course.
So whenever I get Thunder Rosa back on TV, I'm like, I'm all in. Like, I miss her. She should be in the title scene going forward.
Yeah, and I'm glad she is. I thought this could have been a Revolution match, but it seems like we're going to probably be running back Statlander, which I'm okay with. But I mean, I am sold on Thekla. I knew nothing about her before she got to AEW, but for some reason I say upon arrival a lot, but upon arrival, her intensity in the matches and the way she wrestles stuck out to me. And now that over the last few months, she joined that, they formed that group with the Sisters of Sin. We're seeing character out of her. She's cut a few really good vignettes and promos since becoming champion.
The entrance is really cool too.
The entrance is like different, and I do love the Bray Wyatt style spider walk that she does, and she's quick. And this was a really good match. It showed that Thunder Rosa is back, obviously, but she's also healthy, which is good, because she is somebody who should be near the top of the card kind of all the time.
No doubt.
I really enjoyed this match. I was hoping when MJF and Kevin Knight opened that this would have main evented the show, but I understand kind of how we added and the main event was it was excellent, which we'll talk about. But I really enjoyed this. Another good win for Thekla. And then her kind of showing her savage side by attacking Thunder Rosa again after the match, which brings Statlander down. But Statlander had a different vibe and a different look, which I'm good with. We do more layers to the Statlander character, so I'm good with it. But she was wearing it almost looked like Ministry of Darkness Undertaker vibe. And
I was digging it.
I was thinking it too, but I'm like, you're kind of wearing an outfit that looks like you should be joining Tekla in the Sisters of Sin.
I mean, maybe she is.
I don't know, but it seems like we're going to get that match, which again, I'm okay with that because I thought Statlander. Listen, she had 3 title defenses and she defeated Toni Storm, Mercedes Moné, and Jamie Hayter. I mean, if that's not
those are 3 of your biggest champions.
I mean, yeah, like what do you like that? I don't know if you can do much better than that.
No.
So her getting a rematch, and I think Tekla will win this one as well. But her getting another rematch and going for that title, I think, is good. I think I'm more than okay with that. I thought their first match where Tekla beat her was the 2 matches they had. I thought were really good. I expect this one to be a little bit better on the pay-per-view if that's where they go.
It is where they're going. It was made official. I saw the graphic.
Okay, good. Can I ask, because I know you've been saying the Tekla stuff for a while, what is missing there? Because I feel like I am completely sold on her.
I see the entrance. I get the vibe. I've never been into the darker characters, to be completely honest with you. It's just not my avenue. And I don't know, this is probably not fair on Tekla, but I don't buy into Sky Blue and Julia Hart yet. They're not as imposing of figures, if that makes any sense, for that character. So I think it's more of a wait and see thing. There's nothing that stands out that I dislike, because similar to you, I didn't know anything about Tekla before AEW. So I think I'm kind of just still feeling her out right now. Nothing negative to say. It's just that there's nothing that's really connecting with me personally.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I just wanted because like Tekla is someone to me that, you know, like I said, didn't know anything about her, and since she's shown up, I'm just kind of like, all right, I think
she ain't bad.
No, I'm like, yeah, she can clearly go in the ring,
no doubt.
And you know, now that you kind of see the character side of her, like even the little stuff, like once the match ended and she runs away, like she's right in front of the character,
right?
She's right in front of the camera, and she just says, "I am on a different level right now," and like little things like that not everybody would. You know, like I'm sure that wasn't in the script. She probably just saw the camera and was like, you know what, I'm going to say a one-liner. I just feel like things like that to me, I notice, and I'm like, oh, that's like, even though it's nothing that's like a sizable thing, it's like, no,
those are little things that matter, right?
100%.
No, those things definitely do matter. It's just, I don't know what it is. I can't really put it into exact words. What is not connecting with Tekla and me? Maybe it's just because I'm more of a Statlander guy too. That might be a lot to do with it, because I love what Chris Statlander's doing, and I think she definitely has solidified herself as a main eventer going forward in AEW.
Oh yeah,
which they have plenty of names that we could talk about that they're not even using yet in that women's division that I would love. But another thing that I just saw, I don't know if this is breaking news. Maybe I missed it, which is crazy. TNA signed Ricky Sosa.
Yes. Well, did they sign him? I know he was doing a couple appearances.
He's gonna, I guess he's just maybe doing some appearances. Yeah. I just saw the Bang Bang Sosa, and that guy went viral on TikTok, and I was surprised that TNA.
It makes sense. Go to TNA, see if it works for the North American audience at a smaller level, and then WWE just goes, "Thank you, all right."
Yeah. We're gonna take what they're doing with Leon Slater, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like when Leon Slater changed his song to 4 Raws, I'm like, oh, he's gaining that aura now. He's going to sign to WWE after this year.
Yeah.
And then they're going to get the bang, bang.
He had that ridiculous entrance that got viral, right? Yeah.
He's going to be in WWE one
They'll
day.
do some more generic form of that where he doesn't use a real song. He uses a whatever.
He'll still do the thing.
And if it gets over with the small TNA crowd at places here or there, they'll bring him to NXT, see how that goes. Okay, all right, let's try him. And then he'll be in WWE in a year, and that'll be that.
You know who, speaking of like independent wrestlers that I'm surprised hasn't got picked up, and maybe it has a little bit to do with his maturity, is Zilla Fatu.
I think that has a lot to do with it.
I've heard some things backstage, obviously, on how he's handled business in the past. But Jacob Fatu went through that period as well.
That's it. Look, and people can, and he's young, and people
how
can change.
How young is he? Do we know?
He's like early 20. He's young. I think he's young.
I'll look.
I got the privilege to meet him, and he was nice as hell to me. 26. All right. So yeah, mid-20s. So he's a little bit older now, to the point where like you gotta kind of
figure it out.
At some point, you gotta get above that. You know what I mean? But look, I met him for maybe 10 minutes in a hotel lobby on one of the wrestling weekends. He gave me, the second I met him, gave me a hug, talked to me for 5 minutes. Super nice, super charismatic. You can tell he has that aura that whole family has.
He's a
immediately. Too. But and again, this is not anything that I witnessed or experienced, but you have heard from people that behind the scenes is a little immaturity, a little attitude. If that is the case at some point, I mean, Dude, you're a Fatu, brother.
He's going to WWE, right?
They're gonna fucking sign you if they can sign you. So figure it out and get signed, bro. You can walk in. If you're part of that family, you almost have a guaranteed job at this point.
Oh, you got the black hoodie gimmick. He'll be in the black hoodie and debut in the Bloodline story. Yeah, he's being the next member of the MFT going forward. Once I'm trying to think, Tama Tonga breaks off from the MFT, then they'll have Zilla replace him.
They'll have whatever they want to do. You put him with Jacob, put him with Rome. You can
with Roman would be fun if Roman won the title and they bring Zilla in just to be the.
Or if the Usos turn heel again at some point, bring him in as a heel. Who cares? He could do something with Sola. It doesn't matter.
He had a match with MJF the other week too, which is crazy. Could you imagine if he just swerved everybody and went to AEW?
Hey man,
made his own legacy there.
They offer him a contract and WWE is still it. I mean.
WWE would still take him, Even if he went to AEW for 5 years, they would take him after that.
But I also think it'd be one of those things where if they even had an inkling that AEW was thinking about doing that, they'd snatch him up just to make sure he wouldn't go.
Like, no, we're starting a Fatu in WWE. He ain't starting in AEW.
Yeah, exactly. So,
well, speaking of former WWE talent, we got a little segment last night before the main event teasing Tommaso Ciampa and FTR. Now, I don't really know what they could do with this group, other than the fact that what if Johnny Gargano's contract was expiring and he comes?
It could be.
That would be the only reason, because why would you tease this if Johnny wasn't coming into play is my question.
I mean, down the line, I feel like it's probably going to be Briscoe.
I guess
to start, because you could do FTR versus Briscoe and Ciampa, so like two of their historic rivals that are teaming together.
That's fun.
To take on FTR. FTR got 2 talking segments on that show last night because they had the backstage, the boardroom meeting with the Bucks with poor Brandon Cutler. What the hell did he do to anybody?
He made his return to TV and he got rocked.
What the hell? Got punched. Nice beard though on him. Clearly a dye job.
I was gonna say he
definitely
doesn't know about between two beards.
Huge beard. I was impressed by that beard by Brandon Cutler. But listen, if it's gonna lead to also I would like to see Ciampa in. I almost called him by his NXT name. What the hell was it? Cash and Dax.
Oh, Dax.
Dawson and if you want to give me Ciampa and Dax one-on-one, I'm okay with that. I would like to see Ciampa fight both these guys one-on-one but I think it's going to end up being Ciampa and Briscoe maybe teaming up about that, to go against FT because I'm going to try to be here again next week, but I might not be. But as of right now, do you think FTR retains against the Bucks, or do you think the Bucks win those titles?
I think FTR does retain.
I agree.
Because I don't think the Bucks have been built up enough yet to get to those titles. I think there's a bigger moment waiting for the Bucks.
Yeah, I think FTR retains because I still think we're going to get Cope and Christian versus them for the titles.
True.
But I think that Briscoe and Ciampa is a nice little match they could do with their history.
That's a good point.
I think that's probably
DIY with the Revival's history, obviously, in NXT, and then the Briscoes with FTR. Yeah, that makes sense.
And I do think, though, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know what their contract is like, but I would have to think that Gargano, if his contract is up soonish or at some point, would heavily consider going over there.
I agree with you there, but I also don't think he's going anywhere. Because why would they be leaning into this comedy gimmick right now with Johnny on television if it wasn't leading to something,
Yeah, but they do that to try to keep people.
That's true.
They use Karrion Kross.
That's true.
For the last 5 or 6 months, he was there and he had a match at SummerSlam. They used him to be like, "Hey, we want you to stay. We're going to focus on you. Look what we're doing. This is how we treat you." And then he would have signed on the paper, and they would have said, "Okay, back to catering." Because that's what they do sometimes.
Hey, I'm a Johnny Gargano guy. There's a signed North American title right there. I want to see what's best for him.
I was in the building when he beat Adam Cole 2 out of 3 to win the NXT Championship.
Oh, that's one of my favorite matches of all time.
Yes, I was there. I love Johnny Gargano. I still think Gargano and Ciampa is the greatest feud in the history of NXT.
You're right, 100%.
But if I were Johnny Gargano and I'm Johnny Wrestling, about the only thing you're not doing for the last year or so is wrestling. Now, last year when the SmackDown Tag Division was on fire,
he was doing great.
You guys were being used. You were good to go, blah, blah. But if Ciampa kind of made, and he's not, again, that's not young, but he's not a spring chicken. He's not 26 like Zilla. If you still want to wrestle, which I assume Johnny Wrestling does, I feel like the decision and the motive that Ciampa has told everybody about why he went there, I would think that, and I'm sure they're best friends. I'm sure Ciampa's probably telling him, hey, man,
if it's not now.
here.
Yeah.
but again, I don't know his contract status. I don't know when, if, I have no idea. So
yeah, it's all speculation.
If you're going to give me DIY and FTR and DIY and the Bucks and DIY, if you can get me that DIY and Edge and Christian, if you can get me that over the next couple years, fucking go there, man.
Yeah, I agree. But also, Johnny has opportunities to maybe go for, the United States title and run in the singles division with Candice. I'd be okay with that as well.
Candice is a completely different thing because fucking use her.
Well, they kind of are, but she's used as an enhancement more than anything.
She's one of the best on your roster.
Oh, I agree.
Period, end of story. Let the girl wrestle.
Dude, I booked her on my predictions for a U.S. title match against Julia. I know it's not going to happen, but I think with her being on TV, just let her wrestle. Let those two do what they're good at, and that is wrestling.
Yes.
Their nicknames are literally Johnny and Candice Wrestling.
Yeah, let them go.
What a concept, huh?
Yeah.
The main event, though, Dynamite, was red hot. We had a trios match, and we got new champions. The Don Callis family now has a lot of gold, and I understand where Tanner's frustrations were from the Kicking Out podcast, because I kind of mentioned how the fact that I don't like how multiple guys are holding multiple titles, because it kind of locks up your division a little bit. But this felt necessary because the story was actually there, JPJ. They've been kind of telling that the Jet Speed Rodeo was going to lose those titles before Revolution.
Yeah, I don't hate the title change. My main problem, and again, they're heels, so their logic is obviously upside down because they're bad guys. But Don Callis is chastising Jet Set Rodeo, saying, oh, what? The trios titles aren't good enough for you? You're going for the world title. You're fighting for the title tonight. You're going for the TNT title. And then he's like, but my guys, who are the TNT champion and the international champion, what you're chastising them for
is what they're doing.
Now you have double champions.
Yeah.
So now
there's a disconnect.
Same thing that doesn't make sense.
No.
But listen, in
Still
my
good.
opinion, Hangman Adam Page is about 9 days away from becoming world champion. He doesn't need to be, I understand why they did it. They had to get the title off of Hobbs. You could have picked a different trios, but I'm cool with it. I love Jet Speed. I obviously love Hangman, but Jet Speed in particular,
it's a good resume builder too.
Yes. So I'm perfectly okay with it, and I'm actually perfectly okay with this title change.
Me too.
I love and continue to fall more in love with Mark Davis every week he wrestles. We talked about it, but I just think it's such a weird. And now him and Kyle Fletcher.
That's what I was going to mention. Yeah.
Oddly enough, are champions together. Aussie Open, one of the best tag teams in the world when they were doing their thing at their height. And Mark Davis gets injured. Kyle Fletcher becomes an undeniable solo star. And then Mark Davis's tag team partner, when it looked like they were going to become a powerhouse tag team, gets injured. And now I feel like he's on his way to kind of becoming a solo star. And now they're together again with Okada, who that's not bad company at all. And now they're champions in AEW together. So I think that's kind of a cool little wrinkle to this. I don't expect them to hold these belts long, but I thought that the title change was necessary because I feel like
could they maybe face off against the new trios that we just saw with the War Dogs?
Wouldn't hate it.
Dude, how many titles has Okada held in AEW? I feel like they wasted no time. And I know at the beginning there was a lot of criticism on how they were booking Okada, but they definitely made up for it in the past 2 years because I don't know where I can find it on the internet, but I guarantee you this man has held 6 different titles in his few years that he's been here.
Yeah, he's been belted up often, as he should.
With multiple belts.
Multiple belts. He's been a 2-time champion multiple times now.
You brought up Mark Davis, though, man. That's good for him because, let's be real. Is he going to win anything bigger than that in AEW? Maybe not, but that's okay because he provides a tremendous value, and he is showing it, and he has been showing it for the past couple weeks. But great main event, really good show. I'd probably give the show B+, A-. I had a lot of fun. What would you say about Dynamite last night?
Yeah, I'm probably right around there, B+, I would say. Yeah, listen, I feel like it's a broken record at this point, but
it is, yeah.
It's the most entertaining. This is the show weekly, as a diehard wrestling fan, that still makes me feel something.
This and NXT. I still like NXT.
Yeah, I would say NXT is up there as well. But AEW, Wednesday nights are the wrestling night of the week that I look forward to the most.
It's fun.
I just think they've been putting out a solid A product for the better part of since like early 2025. It's been about a year now that they've been putting out like just really, really good. Their pay-per-views have always hit, but like they've been putting out really, really good episodic weekly television shows. The stories are there, which was like everybody that was a hater of AEW or was skeptical, the one thing that they would always, they don't tell stories. And okay, and that's fine. But AEW, I think, has shut people up on that front a little bit here. And not a little bit, I mean a lot of it. Over the last year, especially the last 6 months. Mm-hmm. I just think they're hitting, man, and they're just doing their thing. They're not worried about what's going on over here.
That's the big thing.
They're focused. Tony, you can see the way he is on social media now. We're not hearing any bullshit of like backstage nonsense. It just feels like somebody got a hold of shit backstage and they said, hey, let's just focus and do what we do. And they're focusing and they're doing what they do. Do they mention WWE in a promo here or there? Sure. A lot of their guys have history over there, but like, there was a couple references to it with Ciampa and Dax without saying it,
but there needs to be that story told.
Yeah. And one of the things that I appreciate, and it's gotten better under Triple H a little bit, but like one of the things that I've always appreciated about AEW is they don't treat their fans like morons.
True.
They assume that the majority of their fans know the history of pro wrestling.
Yeah.
So when something is happening in front of our eyes, like a Dax and like an FTR and Ciampa being across from each other, they know that there's a good section of the people watching this that know about the Revival and DIY and their history, and they don't pretend it didn't exist.
Well, WWE is doing a better job at doing
They
that.
are.
Like, commentary does acknowledge history more now, and that's because a certain someone is the head of the company.
Exactly. But I appreciate that on AEW, that they've never shied away of like, they don't exist in their bubble where they're like, well, people that watch AEW only care about AEW. No, they're like, no, this person was a world champion elsewhere.
That's how it should be, dude. Like that. I hated the fact that, and they still do it, like you said, occasionally, that they would reference other companies on a weekly basis. I've been saying it since the beginning. Stay in your lane. You're an alternative. You're not competition. And that's okay, because there is a place for alternate companies now in professional wrestling on American television. It used to just be the WWE. But nowadays, you could watch a lot of people on television. TNA even has a TV deal now. So that's why us fans, it's okay to just enjoy all professional wrestling. Because at the end of the day, I guarantee you that these superstars that are working in separate companies are also texting each other, hanging out with each other, training with each other. They're all friends. This isn't a competition because everybody can grow at the same time.
100%.
And that's what we're trying to do here at the network, and that's why we love talking wrestling every single week. And JPJ, I'm glad I got to chat with you again this morning. It was a fun conversation. We went a little long, but hey that's all right here. It's Kayfabe Coffee. We do what we want, right?
Yeah, well, we had the caffeine in us to do it. So no,
I might need some more.
I know. Yeah, no, I have, like last week. I'm getting out of here. I'm going to get my actual breakfast. I'll probably get another little small coffee and plan the rest of the day out. But no, this was a lot of fun. Like I said, I'm really. I feel like it's easy to talk about AEW because they give you a lot to talk about. And I know we kind of talked we went kind of a little bit of everywhere at the beginning and stuff like that. But that's what we do. But I know this was a lot of fun. I look forward to the Thursday mornings where I can hop on here. It'll be more Thursdays than usual. Occasionally I might have to miss like maybe next week for work stuff, but I should be here most, if not all, Thursdays with you, and I look forward to it. And yeah, man, I love talking wrestling. So
I do too, man. That's why I'm live pretty much every day like yourself. But I do have a job interview next Monday, so I don't know how long this show will stick around on these days, but I definitely am going to keep Kayfabe Coffee in the arsenal. It could be a Saturday morning show. It could be a Sunday morning show. And then, hell, who knows what my work schedule is going to be looking at. But for the time being, every Tuesday, every Thursday, we will be live here for Kayfabe Coffee. It is live at 9 a.m. Eastern, and if you're enjoying the show, you're probably going to enjoy everything else we got going on here at the network. Scan that QR code above JPJ, and you will be able to subscribe to our network on the road to 300 subscribers. And if you want to keep up with all the news going on X, on IG, at main event _net. But for my boy JPJ, I'm Mr. OTM. Thanks for hanging out for Kayfabe Coffee. We'll talk to you guys next week. Take care.